Of the history, the greatest civilization on earth flourished in Bharat. This was the civilization of Hindus, prosperous, blissful, and blessed with the riches unheard of. But all of that was destroyed, looted, plundered by a barbaric desert cult, sewn to a single book, bound to a single goal, jihad. The darkest era of Bharat are right with them. The chants of mantras drowned in the cries of the innocent. The worst genocide of human history began, killing 100 million Hindus over 1400 years. But all this history was forgotten, banished, erased. I am that voice of the Hindus that has risen from the ashes. For it is time for these forgotten stories of invasions are told. Watch the history of invasions on Bharat only on Prachyam.com.
Over to you, Aabhas.
So again, not to offend anyone, but if you go back to the words of Babur, Babur says that Hindus lost to the earlier invaders whom he idolizes, Ghazni and Ghori especially, because they were fragmented. And Babur goes on to talk about all the reasons that why we were losing the battle. Right now it can be a matter of debate among the people, but that's how invaders have seen us as. And in fact, in the Islamic doctrine, it's very clear that when a stone is pelted against one person out in the Ummah, the whole Ummah will come together to fight for it. But that has not been the case in Hindustan, Bharat. Now, from 1000 CE to 1500 CE, we lost around 84 million people. When I say lost, it not necessarily means that everyone were butchered or killed, but some were taken as a sex slave, many were killed, many were abducted as slaves, and it went on and on. And that's why perhaps Will Durant said that the Islamic invasion was one of the bloodiest in the history. But we have the naysayers in the time of now, but we must not give a much heed to them because it's inconsequential. What we really need to now go back to is the primary sources. Get them onto the table. Start talking about it. I have told it quite often in many other talks too, but I will like to repeat it again that I'm sure that you would have gone to see the Taj Mahal. You would have, perhaps it was always in the cards of the people, at least in childhood, that agar Delhi gaye hain, if you have been to Delhi, Agra jana hai, and then you have that customary picture in front of the Taj Mahal, and it always sold to us as the symbol of love. But any of you know the Ghori story behind it? Can anyone tell that what is the Ghori past of the Taj Mahal? Anyone? That's a lie. That's what. They sold a story which was not there, but there was something more barbaric than it. You find no source to substantiate that the hands were chopped. Nothing like that ever happened. But the story goes like this, that in 1630s, early 1630s, 1630 and 31, Gujarat, Malwa, and the Deccan faced worst of the famine. And that famine led to death of around 7.4 million people. How many were died during the famine created by Churchill? It was around 3.4 million. Almost half of this number. And the population is relatively lower back then in 1630-31. And these 7.4 million people died in the famine Created by whom? Shah Jahan. Yes, the famine was created by Shah Jahan. Story goes like this, that the, the governors of the Timurid Empire, which is not Mughal, they are not Mughals, they are Timurids, they, they have revolted against Shah Jahan. To teach them a lesson, Shah Jahan decides to send out his troops. And because these were the reasons, especially Malwa gave them 53% revenue. In Surat, they got 42% revenue and in terms of the tax. So the idea was that if it does not belong to me, why shall it be with my governors? The soldiers went, they destroyed the crops. They burned down the crops, and the rain did not happen. The concept of the surplus crop also did not help, and the famine came, which was the ugliest, and which in Peter Mundi words comes out as Peter Mundi says that people are eating from the excreta of the dead. Situation was even more horrible. People are selling out their children to as a slave so that they can at least live. The bargain is happening between the goat meat and the dog meat. Dog is haram in Islam, but still, even they were. So that was the condition of the people. And what happens? 31, 32, the wife of Shah Jahan dies while giving birth to the 14th child in the 19 years of marriage. So was it a love? It's a point of question. Now, whatever it may be, but a structure was commissioned. I use the term commission deliberately because I don't know whether it was temple or not. I may come to the fact while I reach to Shah Jahan. Right now I am Babur at Babur 2. Akbar is to follow, then Jahangir and Shah Jahan. So perhaps then I will be able to say concretely that whether it was a temple or not. But a structure was commissioned for the cost of 4.18 crore silver rupees. Silver rupia, as in the Shahrukhi, the silver what they called. So imagine 4.18 crore has been spent to commission a structure while people are dying in famine. And how much money Shah Jahan let out for the famine relief? It was 1 lakh. And there are even more accounts. If people pick from my book in the introduction, I've given detail that how Shah Jahan was spending in that period. So it's one of the softest of the example of the massacres, what these people did. But if we can call Churchill the genocide maker, why the hell we don't call Shah Jahan the genocide maker too? He's a genocide doer. Taj Mahal is not a symbol of love, though it's Indian because it was built by Indians. It's my art because they did not know how to build it. And I've proven it also that it was certainly very Indian art in nature. And so the blood of the Indians was lost. So how even a politician comes and says that हम ताज भी ले जाएंगे तो क्या रह जाएगा आपके पास? हमारा खून, हमारा art, everything is ours. Our people lost it, and that is the symbol of genocide in front of us, though it was built by us.
Very true. We are looking forward to your more further detailed, deep researches, after Babur, and we'll definitely do something together. Now the distortions are, done in a way, as I said, that we were made, the generations were made very self-loathing about their own country, culture, civilization, knowledge systems, the parampara of the rishis. So whatever we are doing is the rishi rin we are, trying to give back, So Nilesh Bhau is here, and Nilesh Oak is here, he's been with us right from the beginning. And he inspired us, with this idea that how about, we make this short film. So the world follows, the weekdays sequence. But does anybody knows what is the origin of the weekdays? Why Sunday comes after Saturday, or, Tuesday comes after Monday? So we thought, we should trace the origin of this, and we should make a film, a short film on the origin of weekdays. So can you please play, Vigneshwar?
7 days. Some named after celestial bodies, others after gods. And a very specific sequence which the whole world follows. Have you ever thought about it? Who named the days? Who arranged them in this way? Why are there only 7 days in a week? Let's check the internet. Egyptians, Babylonians, Greeks. Why not? We all have been taught how they influenced Indian astronomy. After all, the word hour comes from the Greek hora. Not really. There is no evidence for all this. Zero. Those old serious-looking dudes didn't do any of it. The West just gave them credit. We believed it without checking. The word hour comes from hora, but hora actually comes from the Sanskrit word ahoratra. There's an ancient Indian book called Surya Siddhanta, serious work on astronomy. It says, arrange the 7 grahas, the major celestial bodies visible to the naked eye, from slowest to fastest. Call it the sequence. Make a list of the hours of the day. Start assigning each hour a graha as per the sequence. When you reach the bottom, carry over to the next day. The graha that gets the first hour of the day is called the Dinpati. The deity of that graha then also becomes the deity of that day. This is how the days get their Vedic names. And notice the sequence? That's the secret of the sequence of weekdays. And the whole world follows it. But why is Mangalvar called Tuesday and not Mars Day? You see, Vedic days were named after Vedic deities. When out of India migrations happened, the days went too and got dubbed after the corresponding local deities. Greeks, Romans, Germanic tribes, Anglo-Saxons, and finally the English names were born. 1,000 years later, the Britishers taught it back to us. But Indian astronomy usually divides the day into 30 muhurtas. Where do the 24 hours come from? See, that's what the Greeks gave. Nope. Srimad Bhagavatam talks of ancient times when the days were divided into 24 parts, not 30. That's where the word hora gets called as the 24th part of a day, the hour. It's not just Surya Siddhanta or Bhagavatam. Aryabhatiya also talks of the same logic for naming and arranging the weekdays. It seems the Central Board of Secular Education was way too busy in teaching us Greek achievements that it glossed over such mammoth contributions of Vedic Bharat. Let it no longer be lost in narrative wars or remain unacknowledged. The world's days, their names, and their arrangement, it's all given by Bharat. Our Bharat.
I'd like to show another video in continuation of this, that how in this country, unfortunately, some politicians and some political parties gave an affidavit in the court saying that Rama never existed, Bhagwan Ram, and he was a myth. So we made a film, short film, called Let Us Explore That, Who is a Myth? And we made a film, short film called Rama's Birth Certificate. Can you please play that?
Tendency to linger on. They are highly unscientific and believe in hearsay. The epitome of this weakness is their craze for Ramayana.
There's no video. Can you please play again?
European scholars and eminent historians have questioned the veracity. Indians have a tendency to linger on. They are highly unscientific and believe in hearsay.
The clock is ticking in front of me and it's giving me, this BP, blood pressure.
They are highly unscientific and believe in hearsay. The epitome of this weakness is their craze for Ramayana. European scholars and eminent historians have questioned the veracity of Ram. Politicians have even filed affidavits denying his existence. What we, the Desis, could never get is that Ram is just a fictitious figure. He never existed. know who existed? Christ. His birth, such a historical milestone that even today we measure our years against it. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, 4 good people have vouched for the veracity of Christ. Now that is true history. Not some sketchy fantasy written by an Indian hermit, but a grand Western story. But since we are all revivalists anyway, let's dig deeper. Maharishi Valmiki tells us that on the noon of the 9th day in the month of Chaitra, the star Punarvasu was in the ascendant. Many visible planets were exalted. That's when Ram was born. Matthew, Mark, Luke, or John didn't know the year, the season, the month, or even the day when Christ was born. Matthew does add that at the time of birth, there was a bright star in the eastern sky. So specific, right? Ram was born to Kaushalya in a palace in Ayodhya. Myth. Christ was born to a Virgin Mary, maybe in a cave or a manger, somewhere near or in Bethlehem. History. Ram's father, Emperor Dashrath, was the son of Aj, who ruled Ayodhya for a long time. Valmiki gives us a list of his ancestors from the Ikshvaku dynasty of kings, a genealogy corroborated by other ancient books. Christ, on the other hand, has not one, but 2 very different genealogies. Matthew gives 41 generations from Abraham to Jesus. Luke gives 59 generations from God to Jesus. But hey, wait a second. Why was someone maintaining the genealogy of a carpenter? We all know how Ram looked like. Tall, dark, and handsome. Jesus, on the other hand, is all over the place. White, olive, brown, husky, even black. More than 500 verifiable observations have been researched by Nilesh O, pointing to Ram being born on Chaitra Shuddha Navami or 29th November 12,240 BCE. 500 data points agreeing to a single date. By the way, Matthew and Luke don't even agree on who Christ's father was. Joseph, the son of Jacob, or Joseph, the son of Heli. With such consistent information, even the Gram Panchayat of Bethlehem would not issue a birth certificate to Christ. But hey, who cares? Jesus is solid history. It is Sri Ram who is a myth. Okay, children?
Over to you, Aabhas.
That, in fact, when you pick the patriarchal figures of any of the religion, you will hardly find evidence for them. And when I say all, it's not just Jesus, it goes everywhere. Like the circular referencing, Quran refers to Muhammad, Muhammad refers to Quran, and so on and on, it goes on. So goes with other religions too. And what's so interesting is that you showed so many formats of Jesus, but there was a Nordic Aryan Jesus too of Hitler. Hitler also had a imagination of Jesus, that how he would look like, and he was a pure Aryan man, as they perceived Aryan to be like. And we are, when you pick up the textbooks, say, in fact, if the textbook is 20 years old, 30 years old, 40, 50, the history also goes back, like the history of Islam will become a part of it, where Prophet Muhammad was born in this and this date. Jesus also follows a part of it, and it continues. But I want to bring attention of people to one thing, that I don't want to get into dates of it, but the guru of Romila Thapar, one of the most prominent propagator of the idea that Rama not existed and Yudhishthir was influenced by Ashoka and so on. Yes, yeah, she said it. And so Al-Basham was a scholar, and he said that Ram was one of the leader of one of the tribe which lived in Bharat. It may have lived in any period, but there was a tribe. So the guru of Romila Thapar himself debunks Romila Thapar. And there are many such cases that when you pick the book Al-Basham, What the Wonder India Was Before Islamic, I don't remember the name entirely. You can, again, a political reason which it started. It's a very different kind of debate where I don't want to get into right now. So whatever is associated as Hindu will have a problem. So if it is calculus, it will necessarily be Kerala school. It will not be a Hindu school, right? When it comes to any science which evolved somewhere, it will be connotated to some region of India, but will never be called Hindu. But the moment it goes to any tradition of science which is out of India, it will get the connotation that it evolved in the Christian thing, and it goes on and on.
You're right, that is why we traced, we started an initiative called the Gifts of Bharat. It was originally part of, the 10 Indic films, which, we started as the first initiative of Prachyam. Oh, I forgot what I was saying with your bell. So, Gifts of Bharat initiative, 10 Indic films, Shefali ji, was the first one to, come on board and help us with that many years back. The Gifts of Initiative is, what is Gifts of Bharat is what contributions India has made, Bharat has made to the world in all the fields, in mathematics, science, astronomy, healing sciences, Ayurveda, yoga, darshan, anything you take. And in that, we have, extensively covered in science what we have done, So if you have, how many people have seen Prachyam videos before here? Okay, quite a few of them. So we have made, that if video on the wood steel, and we have made, the origin of calculus, on Kerala School of Mathematics, by Madhava. And we have made many such videos, and there are many videos which are planned, And what is the contribution of Bharat to the world? The entire world, the Western countries, and I'm, I very openly say it, And all the modern science and all the technological advancement and the scientific advancement are standing, on the wisdom of Bharat, which they stole from here and which they never acknowledged and they never gave us the due credit. So moving on, now the time is very short. As you know, I will just say that what should be done about it. So we thought that we should make great films. And try to re-establish, rejuvenate, the true narrative of Bharat, tell to our people around the world, to what a great civilization they belong to. And in that initiative, we made a film which was made for G20. This was, for the Prime Minister office. And it was much appreciated by the G20 nation. It was previewed there. I'll just show you the promo because time is very short. Eternal Civilization. It's a film, since we are here, and I'm so happy that you all will watch it. Extensively shoot in Tamil Nadu. And, the knowledge traditions of Southern India. It's on that, I'll just show you the promo. You can always go, please, be part of the Prachyam fraternity, Prachyam family, support us, just at least watch the videos, what we are making, go to YouTube channel, go to, the OTT, watch it. So, Eternal Civilization, promo.
Most stories are about lost civilizations. This is about a living one.
येने शुक्रभाषिणी
So this is what we do at Prachyam, trying to, come out with the true narrative of Bharat, make these civilizational films. And thankful to all of you, to all the people who have supported Prachyam right from the beginning. As I said, Shefali ji is here, Nilesh Bhai is here, Abhijit Jogi ji is here, Gauri ji is here. Thank you so much. If you have any inspirational stories, or if you have any ideas you think they should be made into films, do let us know. And over to you, Abbas.
What to say after this video? It was fabulous. You summed it up all in 3 videos, and it's just that I'm all here and there because it's 5,000 years, 6,000 years, 7,000 years. Where to really put it as a conclusive note? It's tough to do it. But all I can say is that what really makes us very different from the rest of the world is we are the dharmic people. And when I say dharmic, it's not so simple. It's a bit nuanced that we're the people follower of the cyclic time. And it's a very important phenomenon which really differentiates whole of a world entirely from us. And that's why our thought process goes like the way it goes. Whether the way the rishis also were able to look at the sky long back, it was only because they realized that everything is cyclic, perhaps, or else it wouldn't have ever happened. So we have this unique privilege and we must endure it, we must retain it, and it would only happen if we go back, because while we drive, we need to look as much as rear as we look in the front. We have to do both, and maybe that we can end up with this. So,
Great. And this cyclic time is going to bring us back again. We'll meet again, next year. And I wish all the best to, the wonderful organizers of Western Ghats Lit Fest. You all are doing a great work. And it's such a pleasure for me to be here to share, just whatever we have done in the last few years to share with you. Thank you so much.